battlefield. He looks back and sees his army has deserted him. He stands alone against the enemy. Does he sit down and cry about loyalty? No. He assesses his weapons. He assesses the terrain. He realizes that a single man moving in the shadows is harder to kill than a clumsy army marching in the light. He becomes asymmetrical. You are that general. Your lack of support forces you to be smarter. It forces you to be faster. A large corporation with 1,000 employees moves slowly. They have meetings about meetings. You can change your entire life in 1 hour because you have no one to consult. You don't need a board of directors. You need a mirror. Stop viewing your isolation as a punishment. It is a filter. It is filtering out the weak people who would have slowed you down. It is filtering out the fake allies who would have stabbed you in the back the moment you got a taste of gold. You are alone because you are being protected from the weight of other people's mediocrity. So, how do you actually execute this? How do you wake up every day with 0 messages of encouragement and still work like a demon? You enter the ghost phase. This is a concept derived from dark psychology and strategic warfare. If you have no support, you have no audience. If you have no audience, you have no need to perform. Become a ghost. Most people fail because they talk away their energy. They have an idea and they immediately run to tell a friend. The friend says, "That sounds hard," or "Are you sure?" Boom. The doubt enters. The energy leaks. You got a tiny hit of dopamine just from talking about the goal, which tricked your brain into thinking you achieved it. So you stop working. The ghost does not speak. You must take a vow of silence regarding your ambitions. Do not tell your mother. Do not tell your partner. Do not post big things coming on Instagram. Silence creates pressure. When you have a massive goal inside you and you don't let it out through your mouth, it builds up in your system like steam in a boiler. It becomes physical energy. It becomes anxiety. It becomes restlessness. Good. You need that pressure. That pressure is what pushes you to work at 2 a.m. when the supported people are sleeping. That pressure is the only thing that will break through the resistance. When you are alone, you have the luxury of total immersion. You don't have to go to happy hour. You don't have to attend the birthday parties of people you don't like. You don't have to maintain the social mask. You can let the mask fall and let the monster work. Use your isolation to obsess. The world calls obsession a mental illness. We call it a prerequisite. If you
Stop wasting money on ChatGPT, Midjourney, or Ideogram for print on demand. Here's what actually works for POD sellers. While everyone's jumping between 5 different AI tools and spending over $300 each month, smart sellers are using one tool that has all the AI models built in, which is Kittl. You stay in control while making designs that actually sell and save hours per day. No more copying and pasting prompts between tools, and no more generic AI art that looks like everyone else's. Let me show you exactly what I mean. I'll open this best-selling design, and now watch this. I'll click on Add Smartboard, and now I can just write what I want to change about this design, including changing the text and the graphics, and I can turn it into a different style, like vintage, and it recreates the entire design in seconds. Now, what if I want different colors or different fonts? Well, I'll just add another smartboard and generate more options. And if I want a different layout or a different size, or to see what it might look like on a mockup, I can simply just type that in the prompt and done. It uses the original design as the base and recreates everything based on what I write. Within minutes, now I've got 15 new products, all from typing in simple instructions in Kittl Smartboards. No complex design skills are needed. You just tell Kittl exactly what you want. Look, you can keep doing things the hard way, spending hours on each design, paying for multiple tools, hoping that something sells, or you can work like top POD sellers who use Kittl's AI tools to turn ideas into money-making designs in seconds. Get started with Kittl for free today.
Consumers today expect to engage with their favorite brands through texting. Slick Text helps you create valuable connections with your customers through targeted, action-driving text messages. Grow your audience across web, social, and in person with our library of list growth tools. Create hyper-targeted segments based on limitless data points and real-time contact behavior. Then send mass texts that make every person feel like one in a million. Automate your messaging with workflows. Build tailored experiences around individual contact behavior and improve customer support scores by connecting with your audience in private texting conversations. Invite your team to collaborate and reach inbox zero in record time. Effortlessly track metrics across all customer touchpoints and get more out of your messaging by connecting with the other apps you use today. Slick Text is the #1 rated SMS marketing service, and we can't wait for you to see why. Sign up now and start connecting with your customers the way they want to connect with you. Get started at slicktext.com.
If you have zero support, you must be obsessed. You must know more about your craft than anyone else. You must be so technically proficient, so strategically sound, that you become undeniable. Steve Martin once said, "Be so good they can't ignore you." Notice he didn't say, "Be so loved they want to help you." When you are undeniable, support becomes irrelevant. And ironically, that is exactly when support starts to show up. People love to back a winner. They hate backing a struggler. As long as you are begging for help, you look like a struggler. But when you are crushing it in silence, when you pop up out of nowhere with results, suddenly everyone wants to be your friend. Everyone says, "I always knew he had it." You will smile, you will nod, but you will never forget who was there when the room was empty, which was no one, just you. To survive this path, you have to grieve. This is the part the motivational gurus skip. They tell you to hustle. They don't tell you that hustling alone hurts. You have to grieve the loss of the life you thought you were going to have. You thought you would have a cheering section. You thought your parents would understand. You thought your friends would grow with you. They won't. You have to hold a funeral for the version of you that needed them. This is painful. It is a visceral, physical pain in the chest. It feels like betrayal. You will find yourself staring at the ceiling at night, wondering if you are crazy. You will wonder if maybe they are right and you are wrong. This is the test. Every outlier goes through the valley of the shadow. It is the period of time where you have left the herd, but you have not yet reached the sanctuary. You are in the wilderness. In the wilderness, you hallucinate. You invent demons. You crave the comfort of the cage you just escaped, but you cannot go back. You know too much. Once you have seen the reality that most people are sleepwalking, that support is just mutual sedation. You cannot unsee it. So you must kill the boy so the man can be born. You must kill the dependent so the sovereign can rise. This requires you to become your own parent. Psychologically, this is called reparenting, but let's go darker. Let's call it self-architecture. You must wake up and look in the mirror and be the father you never had. You must look at your bank account and be the provider you never had. You must look at your emotions and be the therapist you never had. You talk to yourself, literally. Get up. We have work to do. Stop crying. No one cares. Focus. This is the only way out. You develop a split personality. There is the you that is tired, emotional, and weak. And there is the you that is the commander. The commander drags the weakling through the mud. Eventually, the weakling dies, and only the commander remains. This is what Machiavelli meant when he talked about the prince having a flexible disposition. You must be able to be cruel to yourself in the short term, to be kind to yourself in the long term. You deny yourself comfort now so you can rule later. If you have zero support, you have no one to enable your weakness. If you sleep in, no one wakes you up. If you don't work, you don't eat. The feedback loop is immediate and brutal. This is a gift. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Support often acts as a cushion that prevents you from feeling the hard impact of your own laziness. When you are alone, the concrete hits hard. You learn fast. You adapt. you become anti-fragile. Let's talk about the story you tell yourself. The average person tells a victim story. I couldn't start my business because I didn't have funding. I couldn't get in shape because I didn't have a gym partner. You will tell a villain origin story. I don't mean you become evil. I mean you become motivated by the slight. Michael Jordan, the greatest athlete of all time, was famous for inventing insults. He would convince himself that an opposing player disrespected him, just so he could summon the rage to destroy them on the court. You need to do this. Take every rejection, every unanswered text, every smirk, every doubt, and place it in a mental furnace. They didn't support you? Good. They laughed at your idea? Perfect. They excluded you? Excellent. Burn it. Anger is a cleaner fuel than sadness. Sadness makes you heavy. It makes you want to lie down. Anger makes you light. It makes you want to move. Machiavelli said, "Men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims for his deceptions." Don't be the victim. Be the one who sees the simplicity of men. Understand that they didn't support you because they couldn't see what you see. They are simple. They obey immediate needs, safety, conformity, ease. You are complex. You obey a future need, glory, power, freedom. You are speaking a language they do not speak. Stop trying to translate it for them. Just build the tower so high that they have to crane their necks to see it. When you succeed with zero support, the victory is sweeter. It is pure. There is no one to thank in the acceptance speech. There is no one to split the equity with. There is a dark satisfaction in knowing that you walked through the fire and didn't burn, even when everyone watched and waited for you to turn to ash. But
confidence is not a mindset, it's an achievement. In the GMC Sierra HD AT4X, get 3.9% APR on 2025 GMC Sierra heavy-duty models.
But to get there, you have to master the art of strategic isolation. Most people are isolated by accident. You must be isolated by design. Cut the cord. If you are hanging around people who drain you just because you are afraid of being alone, you are leaking power. You are paying a social tax to stay in a club that you don't even want to be in. Stop paying the tax. Sit in your room. Stare at the wall. Feel the silence. It will be loud at first. Your thoughts will scream. You're a loser. Where do those voices come from? They come from a teacher in 3rd grade. They come from a cynical uncle. They come from television. They are not yours. Once the screaming stops, and it will stop, you will hear something else. A quiet, steady hum. That is your own mind coming online for the first time. That is your intuition. That is your strategy. You cannot hear that voice when you are surrounded by the noise of support groups and brainstorming sessions. Greatness is born in the void. Let's look at this logically. Devoid of emotion. Collaborations fail. Partnerships dissolve. Marriages end. The statistics are against you. Whenever you introduce a second variable, another human, into your equation for success, you increase the complexity and the risk of failure. Humans are volatile. They get sick, they get bored, they get jealous, they change their minds. If your plan relies on another person behaving consistently, your plan is flawed. Machiavelli advised the prince to avoid auxiliary forces, armies borrowed from other powerful leaders. Why? Because if they lose, you are defeated, and if they win, you are their prisoner. If you succeed using someone else's money, connections, or platform, you are their prisoner. You have to play by their rules. You have to censor your message. You have to compromise your vision. Succeeding with zero support is the only way to own your soul. Is it harder? Yes. Does it take longer? Sometimes. Is it worth it? Always. You are building a foundation of granite. The man who is lifted to the top by a helicopter stands on the peak, but he has no leg muscles. If the wind blows, he falls. The man who climbed the mountain alone, clawing his way up the rock face, bleeding, sweating, freezing. He has legs of steel. The wind cannot move him. He is the mountain. You want to be the climber, not the passenger. This is why you must embrace the difficulty. When you hit a roadblock and there is no one to call, do not panic. Smile. This is the rep that builds the muscle. This is where you learn how to solve problems. If you have a mentor who gives you the answer, you learned nothing. You just memorized a solution. If you have to dig through the mud for 3 weeks to find the answer yourself, you own that knowledge. It is part of your DNA now. Zero support means maximum education. You are forced to learn marketing. You are forced to learn product. You are forced to learn finance. You are forced to learn psychology. You become a polymath. You become a weapon of mass competence. The specialist is easy to replace. The generalist who built the whole castle from scratch, he is irreplaceable. So, look at your empty contact list and say, thank you. Thank you for forcing me to become everything I needed. Now let's go deeper into the dark psychology of this. There is a concept called sublimation. It is a defense mechanism where you take socially unacceptable impulses or raw emotions and transform them into productive actions. You are alone. You are likely sad, angry, or fearful. The average person numbs these feelings. They drink, they scroll TikTok, they watch pornography, they eat sugar, they do anything to sedate the pain of isolation. You will do the opposite. You will feel the pain fully, and you will channel it into the work. Pain is energy. It is high-octane fuel. Have you ever noticed how much work you can get done when you are heartbroken, or when you are furious? The outlier learns to tap into this energy source on command. You don't wait for a tragedy. You use the ambient pain of your solitude. I am alone. Work harder. They ignored me. Write better. I am broke. Sell more. You create a Pavlovian response where pain triggers production. This is how you become a machine. While others are paralyzed by their emotions, you are propelled by them. Machiavelli would call this virtù, not moral virtue, but capability, prowess, the ability to impose your will on fortune. Fortune is a woman, Machiavelli said, and she favors the bold. She favors the man who does not ask for permission. When you have support, you get soft. You feel safe. And safety is the death of ambition. You need to feel unsafe. You need to feel that if you stop swimming, you will drown. That survival instinct is what unlocks the dormant parts of your brain. We are evolutionary designed to survive. When you strip away the safety net of support, your primal brain wakes up. Your senses heighten. Your creativity spikes. You see opportunities you would have missed if you were comfortable. Welcome the danger. Welcome the solitude. It is waking you up. We have talked about mindset. Now we must talk about mechanics, specifically the fuel source. When you are supported, you run on light energy, inspiration, joy, collaboration. When you are alone, you must learn to run on dark energy. Carl Jung called this the shadow. Machiavelli called it the fox and the lion. Most people repress their dark side. They are taught that envy, aggression, and pride are sins, so they push them down. They try to be good, and because they are trying to be good, they become harmless. You cannot succeed with zero support if you are harmless. To build an empire from scratch, you need aggression. You need the ability to look at a competitor and want to crush them, not physically, but strategically. You need the pride to believe that you deserve more than the crumbs society has thrown you. Integrate your shadow. Stop feeling guilty about your ambition. Stop feeling guilty about wanting to be rich. Stop feeling guilty about wanting to prove everyone wrong. That darkness is not evil. It is potential energy. Think of a rocket. It does not fly because it has good intentions. It flies because it creates a controlled explosion at its base. Your shadow is that explosion. When you are alone at 11 p.m. and you want to quit, inspiration will not save you. Inspiration is fickle. It leaves when things get hard. But spite is loyal. Pride is eternal. Use them. Tell yourself, if I quit now, name of person who doubted you wins. Tell yourself, if I stop, I prove them right. It is a dirty fuel, yes, but it burns hot. And right now, you need heat. You can switch to solar power later, once you are in orbit. But to escape gravity, you need fire. Machiavelli wrote, God is not willing to do everything, and thus take away our free will and that share of glory which belongs to us. He is telling you that you are expected to fight. You are expected to grab glory with your own hands. It will not be handed to you. Do not be the nice guy who finishes last. Be the integrated man who finishes first. Be polite, be civilized, but keep the monster on a leash, ready to work. You have no boss, you have no team, you have no accountability partner. This is the danger zone. Most people, when left to their own devices, dissolve into entropy. They sleep until 10. They scroll. They work for 20 minutes, then take a break for 2 hours. They treat their freedom like a vacation. If you do this, you will die, metaphorically and financially. To succeed with zero support, you must become a fascist dictator to yourself. You need a protocol. A protocol is not a to-do list. A to-do list is a wish. A protocol is a law. 1. The morning negotiation. The moment your eyes open, you are in a negotiation. The weak part of your brain wants to hit snooze. It wants comfort. You must win this first battle every single day. If you lose to the alarm clock, you have already signaled to your subconscious that you are not in charge. 2.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform. Describe what you want, and watch it take shape. You can plan, customize, and expand in any direction. From tools built for one, to platforms ready for many. From passion projects to enterprise-grade systems. Everything is built in and ready to launch. It's a new world of creation, where you can go as far as your imagination takes you. Can you imagine it? Let's make your dream a reality, right now.
The Tempur-Pedic breeze makes sleep feel cool. So no more sweating all night or blasting the air conditioner. Because the Tempur-Breeze feels up to 10 degrees cooler all night long.
Find cooler sleep with the Tempur-Breeze collection at an Ashley near you.
Deep work blocks. You do not work all day. That is a lie people tell to look busy. You do deep work. You shut off the phone. You lock the door. You enter a trance state for 4 hours. In those 4 hours, you produce more than a corporation does in a week. Why? Because you have no meetings. You have no interruptions. This is your asymmetrical advantage. Speed, focus, lethality. 3. Information, diet. If you have no support, your mind is your only asset. If you fill it with garbage, you produce garbage. Stop watching the news. Stop watching drama channels. Stop consuming content that makes you feel small. Read philosophy. Read strategy. Read technical manuals. Machiavelli studied the Romans. He didn't study the gossip of Florence. He studied greatness to become great. 4. The evening review. At the end of the day, you must audit yourself. Look in the mirror. Ask, did I move the needle today? Or did I just make noise? You have no boss to give you a performance review. You must be the boss, and you must be a harsh one. If you failed, admit it, correct it. Do not coddle yourself. This structure creates a container for your chaos. It replaces the external structure of a job or a school with an internal structure of iron. Let's address the biggest distraction for the lonely entrepreneur: networking. You are told, go network, go to events, hand out business cards. Listen to me. Networking is for people who have nothing to offer. When you are starting from zero, you have no leverage. If you walk into a room of powerful people, you are a beggar. You are asking for attention. You are asking for favors. Powerful people smell beggars. They despise them. Do not go to networking events. Stay home and build. Build value. Build a product. Build an audience. Build a skill set that is so rare, so valuable, that you become a magnet. When you are a magnet, you don't need to chase the iron. The iron comes to you. Machiavelli advised the prince to make himself necessary. A wise prince must rely on what is in his power. He should endeavor only to avoid being hated. Make yourself necessary to the market. If you are the best video editor in the niche, YouTubers will find you. If you are the best copywriter, agencies will find you. If you are the best strategist, CEOs will find you. Build the honeypot. Stop chasing the bees. Every hour you spend drinking cheap wine at a networking mixer is an hour you stole from your craft. It is an hour you could have used to become undeniable. The best network is a portfolio of undeniable work. The best introduction is a track record of excellence. Succeed first, network later. And when you do finally enter those rooms, you won't be handing out business cards. People will be asking for yours. This is the part that will feel like a movie, but it is real. If you follow this path, the path of the ghost, the outlier, the Machiavellian, something strange will happen. You will start to win. The numbers will go up. The money will hit the account. The physique will change. The confidence will radiate off you like heat. And then they will come back. The friends who were too busy to grab coffee. The family members who asked, when are you getting a real job? The ex-partners who left you for someone more stable. They will return, and they will smile, and they will say the word that will make your stomach turn. We. I always knew we would make it. I'm so proud of us. They will try to rewrite history. They will try to insert themselves into your narrative. They want to stand next to the trophy they didn't help lift. This is your final test. The old you, the one who craved support, will want to let them back in. You will want the validation. You will want to say, see, they love me now. Do not do it. You must handle this with Machiavellian grace. You do not need to be mean. You do not need to cause a scene. You simply maintain the distance. You treat them with the same polite indifference they treated you with. You become a wall of glass. They can see you, but they cannot touch you. You realize that their love is conditional. It is based on your utility to them. It is based on your status. And that is fine. That is human nature. But you do not build a castle on shifting sand. You keep your circle tight. You keep the gates closed. The only people allowed in the castle are the ones who helped you carry the stones. And since you carried them alone, the castle belongs to you alone. This is not loneliness. This is sovereignty. There is a peace in this that is hard to describe. It is the peace of knowing you are self-reliant. You know that if you lost it all tomorrow, you could build it all back again, because you are the asset. Not your friends, not your network, not your luck. You. So, where does this end? It doesn't. Once you have succeeded with zero support, you have unlocked a new level of the game. You are no longer the survivor. You are the architect. You now have the resources to build the world you wanted to live in. And here is the beautiful paradox. Now that you don't need support, you can give it. You can become the person you wished you had. You can spot the young, hungry, lonely kid who is about to give up. And you can be the one who says, keep going. You don't do it to get something back. You do it because you know the pain of the empty room. But you do it strategically. You do not save everyone. You only invest in those who show the spark. You become the mentor, the patron, the godfather.
strange. People really want to save money, but are so willing to toss their hard-earned coin into a 3-foot pool of disappointment.
I want to be rich.
You don't need to throw your money away. All you need is your phone. No. Go to Geico, get a quote, and you can save $900 with your phone.
Look at that, it's ringing.
What? What are you doing, mate?
I'm going in.
It feels good to save some coin. It feels good to Geico.
Machiavelli said, "It is double pleasure to deceive the deceiver. In your case, it is double pleasure to support the unsupported, to fix the glitch in the system that left you behind, but never forget where you came from. Never forget the cold. Never forget the silence. Keep a piece of that darkness in your heart. Let it be the anchor that keeps you grounded while the world throws flowers at your feet. They clap for you now, but you know the truth. You clapped for yourself when the room was silent, and that applause is the only sound that matters. Wait, look at me. I can feel your brain trying to reject this. This is too hard, it whispers. I need people. Humans are social animals. That is your biology talking. That is the prey instinct trying to herd you back into the flock where it feels safe. Safety is an illusion. The sheep is safe until the wolf arrives. The wolf is safe because he is dangerous. Which one are you? The path of zero support is not for everyone. It is for the outlier. It is for the mutation. It requires you to be willing to look like a failure for a long time, so you can look like a legend forever. It requires you to suffer in the dark, so you can shine in the light. Most people will turn this video off and go text a friend to complain about their day. They will seek the microdose of sympathy. They will feel better for 10 minutes, and nothing will change. But you are still here. You are analyzing, you are plotting, you are realizing that the empty chair next to you is not a vacancy. It is a throne waiting for you to grow big enough to fill it. If this opened your eyes, understand this is only what I can show publicly. There are videos I cannot upload for everyone. There are aspects of dark psychology that I simply cannot discuss publicly on YouTube without being censored or demonetized. The algorithm suppresses the most powerful information. Those exist behind the join button. If you're still here, you're not like the others. Subscribe if you haven't. But if you want what's hidden, click the join button and step into the architect level. You will unlock exclusive, uncensored videos that dive into the deepest parts of the human psyche. Most won't. That's the point.
Taxes was chasing updates. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert, doing it all for you, so you can chase this feeling. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax.
However you want, first check Kayak to compare prices from hundreds of travel sites on the hotel you want. Then do what people do. Recheck sites Kayak already checked. Check restaurants. House specialty squab. What's the difference between pigeon and squab? Nothing. Back to Kayak for a great deal on your hotel.
Your father failed you, not because he didn't love you. In fact, he failed you because he loved you too much. He looked at his son, and he wanted to protect you. He wanted to shield you from the harshness of the world, from the brutality of human nature, from the cold, sharp edges of reality. So he taught you how to be a good man. He told you to be honest. He told you to play fair. He told you that if you keep your head down, work hard, and treat people with kindness, the world would eventually reward you. He painted a picture of a moral universe where justice always wins and where the good guys finish first. He sent a sheep into a forest of wolves, armed with nothing but good intentions. And look where that got you. Overlooked, used, disrespected, exhausted. You are watching this because you have realized a terrifying truth. The rules you were raised with do not apply to the game you are playing. You are playing chess, but you were taught to play checkers. You are trying to be good in a world that only respects power. This stops today. We are going to overwrite the software your father installed. We are going to replace the comforting lies of a protector with the ruthless strategies of a conqueror. We advice Niccolo Machiavelli would have given his own son if he wanted him to survive in the snake pit of reality. This is not about morality. Morality is a luxury for those who are already safe. This is about utility. This is about what works. If you are easily offended, leave. If you want to cling to the fantasy that the world is fair, click away. But if you are ready to inherit the forbidden wisdom that builds empires and crushes opposition, then listen. The first lesson is the hardest. You must forgive your father for being weak, so you can become strong. Lesson 1. The myth of merit. Your father told you, work hard and you will be recognized. Machiavelli says, the world judges by the result, not the sweat. There is a disease in the modern mind called the labor illusion. It is the belief that the amount of pain you endure correlates to the amount of success you deserve. You see this in the office, in relationships, in the gym. Men destroying their bodies and minds, burning the candle at both ends, waiting for the applause that never comes. They think the world is keeping a scorecard of their struggle. It isn't. The universe is indifferent to your exhaustion. It does not care how many hours you put in. It does not care how noble your intentions were. It cares about one thing, outcome. A bridge built by a saint that collapses is a failure. A bridge built by a tyrant that stands for 1,000 years is a success. History does not remember the men who tried their best. It remembers the men who did. Your father taught you to value the effort, to take pride in the grind itself. This made you a perfect employee, a perfect cog, a perfect slave. Because as long as you value the effort, you don't demand the reward. You settle for the dignity of labor while someone else takes the profit. Machiavelli understood that effectiveness is the only metric that matters. If you can achieve the same result with 10% of the effort through strategy, leverage, and cunning, you are not lazy. You are superior. The man who works 80 hours to achieve what another man achieves in 4 hours is not a hero. He is a fool. He is inefficient. Stop wearing your burnout like a badge of honor. Nobody cares. Shift your focus from how hard am I working to how effective am I being. If you are digging a hole with a spoon and another man is using an excavator, your father would praise your persistence. Machiavelli would mock your stupidity. Do not seek to be the hardest worker in the room. Seek to be the one who delivers the outcome that no one else can deliver. The world pays for value, not for sweat. If you want to be rich, if you want to be powerful, you must divorce yourself from the idea that you are paid for your time. You are paid for the magnitude of the problems you solve. Your father taught you to be a mule. I am teaching you to be the rider. Lesson 2. The utility of controlled cruelty. Your father told you, always be kind, turn the other cheek. Machiavelli says, if an injury has to be done to a man, it should be so severe that his vengeance need not be feared. This is the advice that makes people uncomfortable. It makes you squirm, because it sounds evil. But let's look at the mechanics of it. Your father taught you that conflict is a misunderstanding, that if someone hurts you, you should show them mercy, and they will see your nobility and change their ways. He taught you that forgiveness is a weapon. In the real world, forgiveness is often interpreted as permission. When you allow someone to disrespect you, when you allow a competitor to take a piece of your territory, when you allow a toxic friend to cross a boundary, and you respond with kindness, you are not teaching them a lesson. You are teaching them that you are soft. You are teaching them that there is no cost to crossing you. Machiavelli is not telling you to be a psychopath. He is not telling you to hurt people for fun. He is speaking about the physics of consequences. If you must strike, you do not strike halfway. You do not wound your enemy. A wounded enemy is dangerous. A wounded enemy has a grudge. A wounded enemy has time to recover, to plot, to gather allies, and to come back at you with 10 times the fury. Think of the Hydra in mythology. If you cut off one head without cauterizing the stump, 2 more grow back. Half measures in conflict are suicide. If you're going to enforce a boundary, enforce it absolutely. If you're going to cut a person out of your life, You do not take a break. You block them. You delete the number. You erase their existence from your world. You leave no door ajar. You leave no hope for return. You crush the possibility of their re-entry. This applies to business, to relationships, to your own habits. If you are firing an employee who is poisoning the team, you do not give them a month to find a new job. You remove them immediately. You cut the access. You protect the tribe. Your father's advice creates lingering problems. It creates frenemies. It creates recurring drama. It creates a life where you are constantly swatting at the same flies because you refuse to kill them. Machiavelli's advice creates peace. Yes, peace. Peace is not created by tolerating chaos. Peace is created by the absolute elimination of threats. When people know that crossing you results in immediate, disproportionate, and final consequences, they do not cross you. You become a nuclear power. You don't have to fire the missile. The fact that you have it, and that everyone knows you are willing to use it, ensures that no one attacks you. Kindness without the capacity for cruelty is not kindness. It is submission. You can only be truly kind when you have the power to destroy, and you choose not to. Until then, you are just harmless. And harmless men are not respected. They are eaten. Lesson 3. The weaponization of reputation. Your father told you, just be yourself. People will like you for who you are. Machiavelli says, everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. This is perhaps the most damaging lie of the modern age. Authenticity. We are obsessed with it. We are told to be vulnerable, to show our flaws, to keep it real. Your father told you that your reputation is a byproduct of your character, that if you are good inside, people will see it outside. He was wrong. Reputation is an artifact. It is constructive. Human beings are cognitive misers. They do not have the time, energy, or intelligence to analyze the depths of your